Today I'm getting ready to do a big spring cleaning. And I thought, wouldn't it be a good idea for me to just kind of look around room by room and see what are some of the things that I can maybe change and eliminate that could be causing toxins in the house. I wanted to explain to you why I'm doing all this. If you haven't watched my previous video, the reason that I have become so obsessed about finding out all the things that I can possibly do to extend my life, to have a healthier, longer, youthful life, is because of my granddaughter, Penny Lane. See, the other day, she very, very strongly said to me that she wanted me to live to be 100. So I have a huge task in front of me. I have to not only get my body, which has had a lot of issues lately, in check, but then from that point on, I also have to research and find out things that I can possibly start doing to live a longer, healthier life. That's why I'm doing this today, because I think this will be a great start just to look around and see what are the things that I can possibly change in my own home, and not only change it, but maybe eliminate some of the things that can be toxic, that are just sitting there and I'm not even aware of, that can be causing all these health issues that I've been having. So listen to this. As I've been doing some research, I found out that there was a study done by the Environmental Protection Agency, and that study showed that most homes are 3 to 5 times more toxic than the outside world. You know, we know about some of these things, but it's almost like we get used to it, and we buy all these products and we think that they're okay, and then they're just sitting there in our house. And I am on a mission to find out what is going on with all this stuff that could be harmful. Now listen, I am all about simplicity, so I wanted to make this an easy task, not complicated. So I'm going to start with just 8 things today. Let's go ahead and get started, but please stay to the end, because the 8th item that I discovered is something that I was just very surprised, and I was like, oh my goodness. So stay until then so I can tell you what that is. Okay, let's go. Eliminating synthetic fragrance candles and air fresheners. I have had this sitting here in my room on my dresser for almost a year. I've never used it. It's been open and just sitting there. So I'm gonna walk around the whole house, and we're gonna go discover how many candles I have sitting around doing nothing but just putting out all these toxins. So let's go find them. I'm in my room right now, and there is one, and then the one I just showed you that was here in my nightstand. Okay, let's keep on going, people. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Got those sitting there. Oh my goodness. Bathroom. I know there's one here. There it is, behind the toilet. What else? Where else? Oh, I know. There's one right here by my coffee maker. Oh, this is horrible. I can't believe. And then one right here in our living room. Now, I did hear about air freshener a long time ago, so I have eliminated those. I don't think I have bought an air freshener plug-in stuff in my house for 10 years. So that one is good. But the candle situation here, those have to go. So I'm gonna give you a better alternative that I thought about, that is still gonna make your house smell good and it's gonna make it feel fresh. So let me show you what I'm gonna start doing myself. I have this water mister that's been sitting there collecting dust that I just cleaned out, and I can just use some lavender oil and just put a couple of drops of that in there, and this is gonna make my house smell so good. There we go. Another thing is you can put something in on the stove, like cinnamon sticks or lemon or orange peels, and just let it simmer in the kitchen. Here we go. This is ready to roll. Ooh, it's got pretty nice too. There it goes. Here it comes. All that is coming out and making my house smell wonderful. So no more of the toxin candles. I learned that toxins, home products, impact the air in my environment, in my home. So if I look at what's behind here, and I had it just sitting like this in my laundry room. And now I'm gonna look down here in my sink in the kitchen. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4 things just sitting there. Oh my God, great, right? Let's keep going to the rest of the house. Okay, let's walk in my bathroom. And I know for a fact that I have my bathroom cleaner here and my toilet cleaner here. So I bought most of these when COVID started because I just went freako on it and want to make sure everything was clean. But they say that these products have what's called volatile organic compounds, is what I found out. And these are gases that are being released to the air because, as you can see, it's not closed, and even from here it leaks out, so it just all kind of lingers here and you can't see it, you can't really smell it, it's just happening. So these, first of all, I'm not going to use those anymore, I'm going to replace them, but for now this is what I'm going to do. So yesterday my husband Ron and I went and got all these tubs that have sealable tops, and my quick now solution to these is I'm just going to put everything in here until I decide to replace them. There we go, and keep them all closed but I can still see them. I don't know about you, but anytime I walk to an aisle at the grocery store that is full of detergents and cleaning supplies and things like that, I always have had this like weird feeling in my teeth. And just now, as I've been doing this and I'm standing next to here, I'm starting to get the same feeling. So the vapors are out here. And this is something that I found out as I was reading an article. This was done by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and they listed a few things that contain formaldehyde and benzene. So for formaldehyde, this is just a simple list that they have. And you actually can go, they have a website that you can go and check these out. But laundry and dish soap has formaldehyde, pet products, gas stoves and kerosene space heaters, hair straightening products, paper products, coating, insulation that they're putting in a house. And then with the benzene, it said it was glues, paints, furniture wax, and detergents. So there we go. All that is going right in here. It's gonna be locked up. until I find better products that I will share once I find them to replace these. But this is a great start right here. Keep these guys in jail. Okay, so now we're gonna head down to the basement because my husband does all his work projects down there, and I asked him to please put some of those paints in buckets too. So we need to go check and see what he's accomplished here. Hello.
Hi, baby.
So I see you are doing the little tubs with the paint. Because that was freaking me out. All this paint sitting here. And you're going to close them, right? With that lid? Is it going to fit?
I will seal them up. I've got plenty of these. We have plenty of paint.
Wonderful. That's all I wanted. You're a sweetie. Give me a kiss. So let's check out and see what's going on here in my Tupperware drawer. Oh boy. Lots of plastic. So after I cleaned up that drawer, I found that I have half an amount of plastic containers and half an amount of glass containers. Now they do have plastic tops, but when it comes to these two, definitely these are gonna be the winners. And I should know that, but it's so convenient to buy these. There's two bad things that happen with these plastic containers that are full of toxins. You put the food in here, goes in the refrigerator, and your food will sit there for as long as, you know, until you eat it. And all that toxins will leak into your food. The other bad thing is that if you place this in the microwave to warm it up, now you cause even more issues because you're putting the microwave in there and it's warming up and it's warming up the plastic. And now that I think about that, it makes me sick on my stomach just to think. So these are gonna be thrown out. They're gonna be done. And I'm gonna be very conscious about using the glass ones, which are just as easy and they're very accessible. You can buy them, you know, Walmart, anywhere like that. Now, I read an article about what these plastic containers can do to our health. And it was saying that scientists do not longer, you know, ask themselves the question if the toxin migrates from these plastic containers, but how much of it actually does. So that, to me, that's all I have to hear. Goodbye, plastic. Adios. Here we go. Part of my spring cleaning. These are all going to be going either to the Goodwill, or maybe I should just throw them away. Now here's another scary thought. Now I knew this, and that's why I don't buy like bottled water, because they sit, think about this, they sit in a truck that is transporting those to the stores, right? And it's sitting there for days, maybe weeks in the heat, and all that water is just sitting inside this plastic bottle, getting all this changes of environment and slowly leaking. That's what I think, that's how I feel anyway, into the water. Then we buy it and we put it out and they'll sit there for a while and then we'll drink it. So to make things simple for me now, because I actually been drinking water out of a glass jar. And I actually replaced this plastic bottle for a glass one that was given to me as a gift. And I love this. It is, they sell them everywhere. Another thing that I replaced was my straws. I have these plastic straws for my shakes. These are going away, thrown away, because now they have these really cool ones that are made out of stainless steel. And it comes with a little thing, you can just clean it. See? So that's a quick replacement right there. I mean, it's all about making small changes, guys. Small changes. Now, I know this might be inconvenient, but I have decided that I'm gonna take my glass jar. I think I'm gonna get a gallon one. And I can go to places that have that osmosis water. And for 25 cents, I can fill up a gallon of water. So that way I know that the water that I'm drinking, it's much better than the ones that are sitting in those plastic containers. Dryer sheets are really not a good idea, especially because they're full of fragrance, and that fragrance will get onto your clothing, your towels, everything that you're using, your sheets. So wonderful, good environmental change will be to get these wool balls, and they work perfectly for the dryer. And what I've done is I gotten a natural lavender spray, and I just spray them, and all my sheets, towels, clothing, they just smell fresh and great. So here I am getting some new plants for my house. All kinds. Good ones. It says these plants may help improve air quality. That's what I need. Now, adding some plants in the house is something that I should have known to do, because I know how plants are so good to have in the house to clean out the air, right? So I went and got a few things. I got some aloe. These are really great indoor plants to have. So I've just got a variety of them, and slowly I'm gonna be putting them all around my house. The great thing about plants is that they give out oxygen, but they absorb carbon monoxide, which that is something that's really good for us. So by having some indoor plants, they will naturally do the job of absorbing all those bad toxins that are lingering around the house, like that benzyl formaldehyde that I was talking about, and take them away. So let's just add some more plants. I mean, they're beautiful, aren't they? Just letting some fresh air just flow throughout the house every morning when it's still nice and cool outside. Open the windows and let that air come through. You know, I grew up in a third world country, so we did not have air conditioning, and I have such a great fond memories when I was a little girl remembering this. I would get up in the morning and my grandmother would have all the windows open throughout the house, and there was just this great feeling of the breeze coming through, and the house just smelled wonderful, and you could hear the birds outside, and all of that would give me such a sense of peace. And now I realize how important it is to open up the windows in the morning when it's cooler, and maybe even in the evening, and just let that draft come through. And especially if we have all these toxins that are just floating around that we can't see, let that air just every day flow through and just get rid of it. Another thing that I recommend, I had this sitting out in my living room and wasn't even using it, but this is an awesome air purifier. So I just put it now in my room, and I'm gonna be able to use it and get my room all purified and clean. So I just got this on Amazon. I'll put the link below. Using our phone, we are having this Wi-Fi going around us constantly, right? So One of the things that I have gotten really good at is before I go to sleep, I'll go to my settings and then I go to Wi-Fi and I just turn that off because that doesn't need to be on. If somebody's trying to call me, they don't need to have Wi-Fi. So that stays off until I wake up in the morning, and then I just turn it back on and I'm back on this Wi-Fi world. So they say that Wi-Fi, it messes with your cell members. So it's not a good idea to have that, especially if you plug your phone right next to your bed, which is a no-no. That's another thing. I'll take my phone with me, and I've been plugging it in either in the front room or the kitchen, and I just have the volume up in case the kids have to call me for any reason, but I do not have my phone next to me. Doesn't need to. And you know, right there, that just makes a big, huge difference. So we just made it to the last one that I promised you. This is one that now I realize I knew, but I never thought about. And it just kind of went, wow. And is be careful with products that you purchase that are made out of plastic. Get them outside and air them out before you bring them in. There's so many products that, you know, that they're sitting there, and if you open it and if there's some kind of an odor to it, that means there's some kind of a leakage or chemicals in it. So if you just put them outside for a day or two and let those out, most of the time that should work. But I have a story now that I think about. I bought this yoga mat that I wanted to use to go to the beach when I lived in Florida to do some yoga. And when I got it and I opened the packet, this smell of chemical just hit me, and I went, oh my gosh, what is this? So I tried to take it outside and leave it out for a day or two, and it wouldn't go away. I washed it with soap, I did all kinds of things, and I could not get that chemical smell. And of course, you know, here I am trying to be healthy and going to the beach to do yoga, and I have a yoga mat that I can't even use. And there you go. I got all those 8 things done in one day. Things that have been here for, I don't even know how long. And you know what? I feel this sense of accomplishment now. I know I have a ton more to learn. This is something that is going to be, you know, like going to school, just a constant changes. But, you know, if we can all just do a little tiny change each day and just try to look around your environment and see what could be some of the things that could be causing you problems, and then just go change it. Feel so great today about all the things that I've done, and I know that I'm moving forward, and I am eliminating something that could eventually cause me to get sick and, you know, make my life expectancy even shorter. You know, I wanted to mention one more thing that I've learned as I was reading, that 80% of cancers are caused by environmental issues and not genetics. 80%, guys. So if I can proactively do something to watch my environment, I mean, I know that we can't change it all, but if there's things that are in my control, like my home, I mean, that's just like a no-brainer, right? But it took me to this for me to start really thinking about what are the things that I can change. So think about that. Think about what are the things that you can proactively do in your home to make it a better place for you, for your family, for your pets, for everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will be back